I have this grapevine. Let's get back to the studio. The papers, we're done with them. We
Okay.
exhausted all the papers. I think I had this grapevine info that grapevine, a very serious rumor. We're not sure about that. That the reason that many of the banks had this, that the glitch they had recently was because we're trying to upgrade on their security, but they didn't want to make Nigerians scared. Their customers scared. I had to buy that because it made some kind of sense to me.
After
Due to-
Nigerians have lost millions
because
of naira.
Nigerians have lost millions.
I
of naira.
know about two persons that lost millions of naira. They just sat at home, they started getting emails. Next thing they saw, their account was cleared. So banks should do better.
They should do better.
Nigerians can't be in their homes and losing money.
And how
money
can,
that
how
they
can,
kept
so how
in
can
the
someone
bank.
pick up your missing ATM card and due to some serial number, they can begin to make purchases online?
That is even
It
different.
sounds very, very,
They-
it sounds preposterous,
It's
basically. And when you get to the bank, it's so normalized. Oh,
you know the
lost
problem I
ATM
have with the
card.
bank. When you go there, you tell them your account has been hacked, money taken. The process it takes to get your money back,
Will
or to
traumatize you.
trace the accounts that this money was diverted to, is a long process. It shouldn't be really.
Banks can do better.
Yeah.
And they should do better. As a matter of fact, we can't live in a country that seems to grow and not grow as well. We can't live in a globe that has moved past this stage and still be in the caves. We are in the woods as far as the rest of the world is concerned. We have to really get up. Shout out to ex-president, I don't want to put it this way, but shout out to our former president, our one-time president, Olusegun Obasanjo. You're still alive, 87 and still strong. Nobody has killed you yet. But sometimes these rumors do move here and there. If you're not careful, I think it was this one time on TV, we were very cautious right here on Morning Ride. We heard this rumor about someone who died, Olu Jacobs, yes?
Yes.
Yes, we heard about Olu Jacobs' death. And I remember being part of the entertainment desk. We were very conscious about the story. We didn't want to break it just anyhow. You should be careful about stories that concerns life and death.
As a matter of fact, if you've not heard any official statement from the family of that person,
You shouldn't say
you
it.
shouldn't say it. Even if you're aware of the person's death,
Yes.
it's not your responsibility to break that news until the family comes out to give an official statement that this person has passed on.
So if you must share such information, you have to get an official statement from the family, and you
yes.
would relate that story, in that way, saying a statement from the family says, okay, the family says, so that's on them and not on you, because when it comes to life and death, it's quite invaluable. You don't want to be caught in that part of the world.
And
So
like he says, some people want him dead, but
I don't want him dead.
I don't, we don't want him
I don't know
dead.
who wants
We wish
Obasanjo
him
dead.
good health and may the Lord keep him
Yes,
for as long
really,
as possible.
really,
And
really.
of course, I will say happy birthday to our former Vice President Atiku Abubakar.
Who also made front page this morning.
Yeah.
I think that was on the Punch newspaper, right?
No,
No, not on Punch newspaper,
Yeah.
but one of the papers this morning where he was talking about
Atiku says Governor Fubara is Moses, restorer of River State's glory.
Okay, that's on Daily Times, yes?
Yes,
It's
Daily Times newspaper.
It made me laugh, and Blessing, you really tormented me via that
Yeah.
when you said, who's Aaron?
Who's
And for a
Pharaoh?
second, I was thinking of Aaron, wondering who was Aaron and Pharaoh. We can easily relate Wike to Pharaoh
Yes.
because he doesn't want to let his people go.
Oh, really?
There are two things about loving a place or loving whatever you're involved with. First of all, there's a saying for the movies that you could be a hero. If you stay a hero too long, you might become the villain.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, on these chairs we sat and really gave kudos to Nyesom Wike while he was governor of River State for some kind of wonderful things he was doing.
He did
In terms,
well,
he
as
stood test of time. He made the PDP proud. And I'm sure that's why the PDP were fronting him as a major person in the party.
Stakeholder.
Somehow along the line, a presidential candidate came and chose another person for his own reason. And people also voted for this other person for their own reason. The truth, first of all, let's go philosophical about life, is that sometimes you could be active, you could give so much, you could do so well, but then those who observe want a particular position and think that you might not fit in. It is honorable for you to understand realities and accept where you are. Sometimes it's also okay for you not to be the main character of a movie.
Francis, the way you're talking,
Main character syndrome.
I'm looking at you right now, and I feel really inspired. And I wish these words now you were saying them to a different set of people.
No, I'm just,
We are talking about Nigerian
well,
politicians here.
I'm
They don't
hoping
care about it.
that those who would get into politics would hear this and their
Yes,
minds
those
can,
that plan to get into
we
politics.
can really help them, indoctrinate them properly. Sometimes you might not be the main character in that movie.
Yeah.
Main character syndrome is a problem. You could be doing so well in life and you just have to stay back. You're just playing behind the scene. You could do so well behind the camera rather than being in front of the camera. You could do so great even before the camera. Whatever you choose to do, you mustn't always be the main character. And that's the message I have for Nyesom Wike first, who looks like the pharaoh of Port Harcourt. He doesn't want to let those people go. Because you could love something so much that you have.
It's not our words, it's not Francis and I, it is Atiku Abubakar, former vice president.
Who's putting his words like this?
That called Fubara the Moses of Rivers State. He says that Fubara is here to restore the lost glory of Rivers State. But I think that it's not the former vice president that should say this. It should be the people of Rivers State who should say that the governor is this or that. Really, the people should be the ones to vouch.
No, but he has his opinion. He shared his opinion.
He can share his opinion.
I was out there.
It's the major headline on the Daily Times, so we really have to talk about it.
So well done to Fubara. Keep doing well. Yeah. Keep doing very, very well. And at the same time, once again, happy birthday to former Vice President Atiku Abubakar.
Yes,
and wish you all the best, long life and prosperity. Really.
Yes.
So we talk about the former governor now of Kogi State, Bello. The man who has been going here and there over this. It looks like he's going to be in court today. And we're going to talk about how the alleged 110 billion naira fraud would be settled. First, I am not in a hurry to talk about all these stories of fraud on ex-governors. We saw something happen recently right here in Delta State where the former governor was held for issues of fraud, just an allegation.
That's a
and people blew it out of proportion. The court, first of all, I want Nigerians to get this thing very clearly, that when one has been accused of something, they are not yet criminal to that. Okay? Because what we do in this country is that when it's said that someone, like we had the huge sum of money that was alleged that Okowa misappropriated.
1.3 trillion.
And at first I was shocked. I was looking at the streets, wondering what was happening in Delta State, where salaries paid to workers, did anything happen in this state? Was Delta State on post mode for 8 years? Maybe it wasn't the greatest of all times, but it wasn't so bad as about 1.3 trillion naira that a total country could cry about would disappear. So I was concerned. The main Nigerians saw that story, and the first thing they could think of was Natif, in the state. We shouldn't be in a hurry yet. Let the court decide. But for Bello, there are other things that look like they were not honorable for him. One of those things included, and which elevated former governor of Delta State, Okowa, is that Okowa went himself, said, okay, take me, talk to me, let's talk about this.
He went
did this
for questioning.
He went there for
The petition
questioning.
was written against him,
but
and he went there.
In this case, Bello
has been acting like...
he's been disappearing every now
and then. Disappearing, appearing.
So that's the first problem of Bello.
Well, he's going to court today, so like Francis said, we won't talk much about this. We'll wait until the EFCC comes out with an official statement to address this particular case. Alleged 110 billion naira fraud. That's huge. So we'll wait for the court to come out with its judgment. Okay,
more stories. We have them on the newspapers this morning. Let's see if you have anyone you're fancying.
CBN raises interest rate to 25.50%, and the rider revalue the naira, not MPC rate increase, says expert. CBN is at it again. This is the 6th time they've increased the interest rate, and people are crying, Nigerians are crying that this will affect so many businesses.
We'll have to keep this particular question for our next guest when we have our interview segment, because we're talking about the economy, and this would really, really affect everything. The more these things go high, the more it gets high for Nigerians, the common man. Again, I saw a tweet one time, I don't know if that's a tweet or a Facebook message or post, from a so-called Igbo trader. He made a very strong statement. He said, I don't care what happens to the petrol prices, what happens to the interest rate, what you hold me on the ports, what the customs take or whatever. I'm going to add all those sums together and sell it to you, Nigerians. And that was a very terrifying statement.
Yes, it's true.
And a very realistic statement. The bitter truth was as harsh as that statement sounded. They would give it all back to you. So when all these things are happening, and we find the president on October 1, on what other day again, on maybe December 25 or January 1, come and give us a speech of how we should hold on and things are going to get better. Nigerians are wondering, do you really, really empathize with us? Or are you just making all these laws, not caring whose ox gets gored, really? So maybe the CBN, maybe the Federal Republic of Nigeria, maybe the government has to look at Nigerians and consider them first, even while making all these laws that could maybe help the situation of the economy right now.
We'll say congratulations to the federal government and NNPCL. But it's interesting to see that just this morning, if you look at the top of the Vanguard newspaper and the Guardian newspaper as well, you see there's a Dangote, what I call it an advert now. You just go through the Vanguard newspaper and the Guardian newspaper, you see that that particular advert there. So but
it means Dangote is already it's already competing.
And I'm looking for that particular
on the Vanguard. This is free advertisement coming from Dangote
and the Guardian newspaper as well. The advert is there
saying high quality PMS petrol.
Buy minimum of 2 million liters at 970 naira per liter. And the Guardian has this headline: cautious optimism over cheaper fuel as P-Head refinery creates rivalry.
It's a good thing. I think if we have competition, the customer becomes king. That's the only way. If there's only one restaurant in a place, the seller is king. They tell you, I don't want you to come to my restaurant, and you have to beg. But if we have more competitors, then the customer becomes king. And if we get to that stage in the country where marketers have different places they can go, and when there is ease of doing business with these refineries, maybe we'll have a better price for petrol. Remember that no matter the lies we want to tell ourselves in this country, petrol determines our economy.
It does.
We've seen it every other time. Fuel prices go up, everything goes up. Everything, literally, even to electricity.
We just hope that this is sustained. The Port Harcourt refinery, we hope that the operations are sustained. And this headline on the Daily Independent says the president mandates NNPCL to revive Warri and Kaduna refineries. We do hope that these refineries are revived and they begin to refine and roll out petroleum products for our use in Nigeria.
All right. We just hope that all this happen so that Nigeria can stand strong. I'm looking for a story, but this one comes my way and I'll talk about it. It's on the Punch newspaper. 4,449 policemen sue IG over delayed promotion. A worker deserves their wage.
Yes.
A worker deserves to grow. It's part of the system. If they've gotten to that point, they should move further. They should grow. It's the only way you can motivate them. It's the only way you can make them believe that they are putting in the work. The only way they can be appreciated is if they get the promotion as and at when due. If not, you are really killing them. And we don't want our policemen to be disgruntled because it affects even the way they treat the people who they are supposed to serve. Remember, the Nigerian police force is called to service and not to push you. We must make sure their lives are comfortable. So if they're suing the IG over that, I don't think the matter should even get to court. It should be settled as soon as possible. As soon as possible. You have that smack. So I'm wondering what you've seen.
Yeah, I'm looking for that particular headline I took. Remember the headline that talked about 50 kg bags of rice being rebagged, and those bags of rice were federal government palliatives to people. I'm very interested in that headline because when you talk about palliatives are meant for the citizens. But what we see these days is you just hear that this amount of bags of rice have been given out, but people never receive them.
Okay.
My issue is we keep seeing these kind of headlines. Now, the people who are responsible for this, are they persecuted?
No.
We don't even know them. We just hear that.
Faceless.
I'm looking for that headline. I think I need to read that headline. I'm very interested in that.
Well, the story has been caught, and it's quite touching.
Okay, Anti-Graft Agency uncovers 16,800 rebagged 50 kg federal government rice palliative. This is huge. 16,800 rebagged bags of rice.
Recovered, right?
Yes, recovered.
So they should give it out back.
So they should give it out to the people.
Yes, back.
Really?
Give it out back. But beyond that, what you said, the biggest robbery, the biggest fraud is taking what was meant to cure the headaches of Nigerians, using them to somehow take advantage of Nigerians. That's where the biggest problem is, really. What is palliative? English language defines palliative as a measure to just calm the problem down for a while. It's like taking painkiller, the popular Panadol, paracetamol, what else, ibuprofen, whatever drug you're taking, to just kill the pain. The problem still persists anyway, still there somewhere, but the pain is just mild or numbed. If someone gives somebody something as good as painkiller, and you take the painkiller away from them, so they could die from the pain and die from the problem, then you're a very wicked person.
Okay.
So it's something that should be looked at, should be followed too, in case we're having misconceptions here and there.
Yes.
As well, it could be cleared. Maybe somehow logistics challenges happened, and it should be cleared so we can have it done better.
On the Vanguard newspaper, we have, I'll take two headlines. Prices of local rice, bread, eggs soar in October, says NBS. And then this one from our president: let's join hands to make Nigeria a producing nation. says our president.
Together we stand. United we stand.
Divided we fall.
Well, we'll join hands and do it. You know, we just talked about interest rates going higher. And we are trying to join our hands together. But if your hands are really tight, how do you put them together?
How can we join hands with the federal government to make Nigeria a producing nation when the environment is not conducive enough for us to produce?
Because the whole idea about the government is not just making those businesses, it's making the place favorable for business to thrive. That's just what it is. So if you're increasing interest rates, if petrol prices are going high, if the dollar rate is going high,
power supply
every now and then we cannot really do those things. We'll only imagine doing them. But we'll still have our girls who are done with university going to makeup and hair fixing, our boys going to POS business. And you see people, if you go to every family now, I've not gotten my statistics, MBS has statistics, but if you check on a very normal level, you notice that most families have someone who is into POS business, someone who's into makeup business, someone who's into hair business, someone who's into catering business. We're all doing the same thing, so we're serving just our family members and friends. In fact, recently, everyone is now selling land in this part of the world. People are just doing the same thing all over. We're not producing. If you sold land and you got money, it doesn't help. So we have to produce, export, and be gigantic for ourselves. And that onus is on the presidency to do that.
Yes.
If you come to the state levels, the governors should ensure that they do that. Recently, I saw that we did something about our planned budget, and it was said that we're not going to try to borrow anything else. We're just going to focus on what we have.
What budget?
The state. We're just going to focus on what we have. And when we focus on what we have, we're going to try to get money from internally generated revenue. Way to go, really. It's not going to be easy, but if we can go past that phase, then we can stand taller. Well, let's stop talking about the economy, because when we come back here on Morning Ride, our next spot will be talking about the economy. We are going to ask him all these questions, things we started about. He would give us his own opinions, all of them, right here on Morning Ride. You should stay with us, and I'll let the cat or the man out of the bag. Stay.
Garcinia Cola, also known as bitter cola, false cola, or wonder cola, is a nut gotten from the Garcinia tree, which is evergreen with heavy spreading crown that can grow up to 30 meters tall. Found in many African countries, the Garcinia tree takes a minimum of 7 to 10 years before harvesting and 4 to 5 years to enhance modern farming. Its fruits or pods turn yellow or orange when ripe or mature for harvesting and contains a brown nut-like seeds similar to kidney beans. The fruits are rounded berries but sometimes slightly flattened. It is almost the same as coffee seed, and it has noticeably a bitter taste and is slightly crunchy. The harvesting of the fruits can either be by plucking or allowing them to fall, burst, and spill their contents on the ground on their own. Fruits are collected and covered to allow heat cause it to ferment for about 4 days. It is then squashed to extract the seeds, washed with clean water, and spread out to dry for some few hours. According to medical experts, the bitter cola offers many nutrients and is high in carbohydrates, fats, potassium, vitamin C, calcium, iron, and caffeine. Locally referred to as Orobo in Yoruba, Akinu in Igbo, and Nanin Jingoro in Hausa, and served in many traditional festivities, the bitter cola, apart from its healing properties, can also be considered traditionally as a strong spiritual tool for prayers and fortification. The bitter cola has also been used over the years to combat cold and hepatitis. A medical study on the effectiveness of bitter cola in 2003 proved that the bitter cola fights against inflammatory conditions like arthritis, and the colaviron found in the bitter cola may protect against hypocalcemia in people with type 2 diabetes. It is said to protect lungs, aid in weight reduction, improves eye health, help alleviate chest cold, treats impotence, and boosting sexual stamina, as well as combats cough. The bitter cola is also a natural herbal remedy to all sorts of food poisoning. Scientifically, the saponin and tannin bioactive components found in the bitter cola have been proven to help in isolating all kinds of sexually transmitted diseases. The bitter cola also relieves gastric disorders, bronchial diseases, fever, and serves as anti-cancer and reduces blood pressure.
Bitter cola is a natural remedy to balance sugar. That's first of all. And second of all, it neutralizes poison. We use it for clarity of our voice and so many other benefits.
It makes my bowel, my stomach to be free. And whenever I want to defecate or eat it,
I take bitter cola because it's good for eyesight. It's a body purifier. Like so that when you have stomach upset and you eat it, it makes it stop. Another one is good for cough. When you have cough, you chew bitter cola.
It's good for my health, one. Then two, traditionally, every strong African man, if you are traveling, you must have alligator pepper in your bag and at least 2 seeds of bitter cola for defense, for health purposes, and in case of emergency.
Medical experts warn that the consumption of bitter cola in high dose can cause insomnia due to the presence of caffeine. It could also cause irregular heartbeat, slows blood clotting, and could cause anxiety. They advise to eat not more than 2 nuts a day.